the Model Rocketeer, and Bit Cloudwize. Everybody else,
How's
come
it going,
hang out.
guys?
We are on episode
Yep.
5 of Hellier. How's everybody liking the series so far? It's just a quick recap.
Blair's dog.
I like it a lot. I just wish I would have stayed awake for the other episode the other night.
Well, you have got plenty of time between episode nights to get caught up on all the episodes you've missed out on or have not watched. We all of our lives do replay again on both Model Rocketeer and WebC YouTube and over on Twitter. We're debating on whether we should have it on Twitch.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
moving forward, nobody likes getting high. Just not talk about that. All right. So here we are. We're on Hellier, episode 5. Episode 4 was one of those drawn out episodes, and I was glad we watched it with episode 3, kind of just to knock those two out of the ballpark. So episode 5 is going to be pretty good, I hope. And then, we'll see what else happens. And my dog farted.
Hell yeah.
So
wow.
that's good news. It's gonna stank in here. Dog's got the farts.
And that was left field.
Oh, totally left field. So here we go. And hell yeah, I'll turn the volume up as soon as I get me into full screen.
Yeah.
Right.
Grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, people. Everybody get seated.
Right.
And hang that fuck on.
Definitely.
Send out the intention that we're here to communicate with anything intelligent that might reside inside these rock walls. Yes and no. Anything that might take up residence in here. The only problem I would have is that
Hey, just for a quick recap, the where we're at, they're doing a seance. Remember, they found the tin cup.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing a seance where they found the tin cup. It looks like that same cave, that mine that they found the tin cup laying in. So this is where they're at.
Do you really want me to answer that if I remember it or not?
You remember the dude, and he said there was a tin cup. They were like having a seance on the porch. Do you remember that part, Bit?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Later on at the end of episode 4, they found a tin cup in the cave. Okay. Now they're here. They're going to do a seance.
Alrighty then.
That's what we know.
Ghost. I didn't say that. I'm just expressing. You can understand us, know that we're coming here. Out of positivity, curiosity. We want to understand you. We want to understand why people see you. Feels like we've been here for a reason. It exists. That word exists. Contact. I've been here since 1894. I do not.
No, it's a commercial.
1894. Okay.
That sounded weird, though, didn't it?
Yeah. The way that just popped in was kind of, yeah.
All the way down through the mile-long tunnel.
They're all like, "Why are you here?" And it's like, "I've been here since 1894."
Wow, that's a really long time, dude.
Yes, it is.
Come contact us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but would you kick your mom out?
Chapter 5, the heart of it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So in the cave, Greg does a Gansfeld experiment. The Gansfeld experiment is an experiment that is often used to enhance any latent psychic abilities somebody might have. And it does this by blocking off pretty much all of your senses that are constantly giving you input. So you put ping pong balls over your eyes, you shine a red light. The idea being that in that state they can open or close their eyes and there's no difference. Kind of confuses your eyes and gives it static just to look at. And then you pump just pure white noise into your ears. So it's sort of a sensory deprivation situation. So it's the closest thing you can get without any of the touch senses or smell senses being eliminated to being sensory deprived. That you can just sort of like take impressions through your eyes and ears of basically just noise and see what comes through. So
Who else is talking?
the only thing you have left to focus on
It's somebody at Bit's place. I'm just going to turn Bit's microphone down
as
for a
the
while.
thoughts flow, as the visions
That would be
come,
cool.
any sounds that we hear, we'll just say them out loud. You're unaware of anybody who's around you or what's happening. And there are points in it when the sounds that you're getting sound just as real as if you aren't having white noise there. Like, it just sounds like it's there. The visions aren't ever really quite that clear. This session was, I mean, the minute that I put it on, I was hearing things automatically. There's a crowd of people. It sounds like you guys are yelling. And they're really loud. There's people doing a cheer at a football game. That sounds like a high school football game. Excited over here. You can send in your questions or your messages or for you. That can help us. I see a building. Practical standpoint, was like some teenagers driving by. That's most likely. Somebody's going for a workforce, so they can go off the trail first. Again, if you're trying to communicate, one of our guesses right now, you might be able to send impressions, messages to grade. You might be able to pick up on you, tap into what they want. What are you? I'm watching trees, street lamps pass. I'm looking out the right side of a window. Moving vehicle. Oh, I just went through a tunnel. I think I'm on a train. Oh, I went through another one.
Yeah, seriously.
It's in guys. It's in guys. Yeah. It's in fucking guys. Hello? I don't really know how to explain what I'm seeing. Get up to 80% off list
Oh,
pricing
wow.
during our
Sure.
huge winter
80% off.
redemption sale.
Man, they didn't
Oh,
have
he's got to make them commercial
freaking time
monies.
to put on commercials.
Woohoo.
The practice you are about to learn is almost
Oh
never
man, I love
described
Gaia. That is some shit.
in the midst
People
of
subscribe to
Greg's
Gaia.
dance session.
Support Gaia.
We were standing there asking questions, and Greg was
I
silent for
told
a short
Steve,
bit.
the guy that
And clear as day, I hear a whispered voice from about 15 feet away. It's hard to place, but it was close, and it was from the center, of the tunnel. And it sounded clear as day. It says, "Guys," is what I heard.
You know, we were paying a lot of attention to what Greg was doing. And Carl actually said, "Did you hear that?" And it was strange because I had heard it, but I was so focused on Greg that I almost wasn't paying attention and kind of decided not to. I decided not to pay attention to it, even though I had heard it loud and clear. I heard a person say the word "guys." That wasn't close at all.
You can show him what you look like,
He knows, but you in
please.
the situation stuff, so it wouldn't be an issue if you got out.
Oh, I'm looking up. I'm laying down. I'm looking up into the sky. There's a ring of trees. I'm staring up through a ring of trees. There's a lot of trees. Oh, God.
I know. That was my thought too.
I feel like I'm vibrating.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
You're my number one.
I think he's
It's
tripping.
really cold, and I'm seeing a face.
I still don't understand, like, what he's exactly, or is on his headset that he's got on.
All right.
I
So
don't know if you guys feel it, but I'm covered in cold.
right now
Is
he has
talking, right? EVP or some shit.
well, he's doing an enhanced psycho therapy session with himself, right? So it's almost as if he was to simulate a deprivation tank without being in the tank. So
Gotcha.
everything he's doing, he's got white noise in his ears, he's got ping pong balls taped over his eyes, and then he's shining a red light into his face. And the red light is supposed to stimulate the
Neuroactivity.
oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's supposed to stimulate neural activity, and it's supposed to initiate the known limitedness of sight. Like, so it's supposed to make it so your eyes, no matter if you try and open your eyes or close your eyes, you're going to see the same red, bright blindingness. It's weird. Moving
Awesome. There's
Moving
some
on.
study for you home scientists out there. It's incredible.
Right. So now what he's basically done is he's turned himself into a spirit box, is what
Right.
he's done.
Okay.
So it's that kind of a setup.
Oh, the hair on my arm is standing up. I don't know if this is cold for you guys. I'm laying on the ground. Oh, Jesus. I'm staring up. The ground's vibrating. I'm staring up through a hole in the trees. There's trees all around. There's someone looking over top of me.
It's actually very warmer over here than it is over there.
Oh, God, I'm so cold. There's flashes of light behind the treetops. I can't see anything. Holy shit, it just stopped. No, it just stopped. It's over. Stop. Noise is over. Holy fuck. That got really scary. You want to use this to take them out of this?
Do you want? I'm right here.
How long was that?
Had to have been like 20 minutes.
Oh, man.
15. 19.
We didn't stop it. It just buffered.
Just buffer.
Did you get how it buffered? Yeah. Holy shit! It's weird that it buffered when it did.
Was it scary?
It was really scary.
Can you describe it? Describe it for us as much as you can.
I'm still like,
Don't lose
did it get really cold or is it just me?
It actually went up a degree.
When we moved it closer.
I'm laying in that clearing. I'm looking up at the sky. That sense of a presence is even stronger. And then, leaning over top of me, is what looked like, sort of like a gray alien, but it had bright blue eyes, and it was a very uncomfortable experience.
I didn't want to pull him out of it because I thought he was actually going somewhere with it. And so he seemed a little upset, a little scared, and I kind of just made a decision to kind of let him go a little bit further because I didn't think that he was getting to the point where he would have a full-on freak out. And it seemed as if his experience was building towards what sounded a lot like an abduction scenario. So he felt as if he was going to be taken by something. And then randomly, the sound stopped.
The audio had gone to buffering, and that just felt like, okay, whatever was about to happen there, maybe I didn't need to experience. And we just left it at that. So I pulled the ping pongs off and talked about what I experienced.
Yeah.
Well, that would definitely be freaky. So maybe.
Boo-boo.
Oh, doogie.
Well, my stuff might be syncing up here because I went like this, and you went. Like literally, like taking a breath in, and you like. I couldn't. I went like this, and you went.
I'm listening to some 999 hertz pineal gland activation music, and
Did you
it's
see
just
that
like playing,
synchronicity?
it's resonating in my house, and I'm listening to this. It's freaking me out.
Did you see that synchronicity that just happened between them two right there? That they're like
that was crazy.
on the spot
If you're down there,
pointed
we'd
out.
like to
Like,
meet you.
That would be crazy as hell, for real.
We've heard some stories that you might be hanging out down here. You don't have to be shy. Come on in. Come say hi.
hi, how you doing? My name's
How's it
Wipsy.
going?
Hey, mister.
We came a long way to say hi to you.
Oh, Master Roshi.
I am so excited to show you what we've been working on for the last
Commercial.
4 years. Marvel's.
We heard stories of these creatures that live underground in this area.
Yep.
Not sure if that's you. We're
Nope.
starting to get the feeling that maybe not, but if there's somebody who might be able to direct us, we would appreciate it. We're not afraid.
You should be.
We're here for you. We came a long way.
I feel like it's maybe just me, but I feel like it's just like right beyond those rocks, that pile of rubble.
We came to the top of this pile of rubble, so you should come to the top of that one. Let's meet in the middle. You don't have to come any closer than that if you don't want to. I'm gonna go closer.
Just be careful.
I will. I'm just gonna go right to where that starts.
Watch one else go.
Yep, the Freddy Coos will come out the tip of your butt. I mean, wow.
Holy
all
crap,
for
did
you.
you just go there, dude?
What? It's all a dream. It's all a dream.
I put that.
Yeah, Master Roshi without a turtle shell is too.
That's a bit weird. Master Roshi is the only human
Yeah.
to come close to using Ultra Instinct.
I would not want that.
What, Master Roshi with Ultra Instinct?
Yeah, that would scare me. It's already scary enough. And a
Well, you know
pony.
that form that he takes on where he's like super swole? That's his Ultra Instinct form. That's what he does when he uses Ultra Instinct. That's why he can do
Oh,
that.
he goes.
They finally explained in Dragon Ball Super. That's why he can do that. Because Krillin can't do that. Krillin don't bulk up like Master Roshi. Master Roshi trained Krillin.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a thought.
Master Roshi can do an Ultra Instinct, apparently. Right. That's his bulked up form.
Is anybody's ears ringing like crazy?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, they just explained it like recently.
Weird or anything. Just quiet.
No, Whis talks about it during the Tournament of Power.
Oh, the Tournament of Power, it happens.
10 minutes ago, I'm like, don't we need to leave? Like,
That's when they talk about it.
we need to leave. Yeah. And now I feel like
Yeah.
we're
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he's been using that form since Dragon Ball, but in Super they explain what that form is.
That's when they explain the form, apparently. What it really is.
Oh my fucking god. Did you hear that?
You guys didn't hear that? You heard that,
No,
right?
it's not. But still, for a human, it is.
Logs. It was a log. It was
Alright, she's pointing off into somewhere.
She's getting a ping. She see something, or is she getting an energy reading? Oh, okay, sound.
I heard it right over my right shoulder.
From this direction.
Yeah, to the side. Is that you?
No, man, Pedro's not here.
Hate to ask you to do it again, but can you do it one more time just so that we know it was you?
I hear you knocking, but
No
you
more
can't
locked doors.
Outdoor investigations are different.
He
than
said no
indoor
more
investigations.
locked doors.
And they're the same to a certain extent. What you're doing is looking for sounds that are normal sounds in that environment. And we would hear dripping. We would hear, little scuffling, the occasional sound. It's a cave. Everything is amplified. Everything sounds weird. It sounds like it's coming from one direction, but it's really coming from the other. So it's all meant to kind of confuse you. And so we would hear normal sounds, but then when we heard a person say "guys" at one point, and we heard what sounded like a little girl having a conversation, and we would hear sounds that weren't normal, typical to that cave, because we were in the cave for like at least 3.5 hours. We were in there for a long time. So we were familiar with like the normal sounds, and when you hear a piece of wood bang up against another piece of wood, that's not a typical sound. When you hear a human being say the word "guys," 15 feet away from where you're sitting, that's not a normal sound. And so there was stuff happening around us, as if kind of like we were stirring up either the activity or what we were doing was something that something was curious about it and felt kind of compelled to come towards it. But there was also at the same time a feeling of it not wanting to get too close. So it's as if something was sort of like very curious and would be watching and then kind of pull back a little bit and give us little occasional hints to it potentially being out there.
Dana and I were neck and neck the whole way through the investigation. From 1 minute, it would feel anxious and strange, to the next minute, serenely comfortable. And that's what spooked me the most, was the serenity. When I would look around and be like, this feels fine. Because it shouldn't. I was anxious about everything in that cave.
It's not enough
Amazon.
to just reinvent transportation.
Not
You gotta
reinventing
be able to
anything.
bring everybody else along with.
Damn it, Amazon! Shut up.
The tarot reading that I did in the cave was strangely enlightening. Mostly because of the conclusion that the reading kind of came to.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
those are all pretty major.
I mean, this is sort of very similar to the ones that I've told before about the area, where it's like, corruption of power, lots of like material possessions, of comforts, of stability. The hangman is one of the best ways to describe the hangman is the idea of looking at things, looking at the world upside down. So sometimes the answers that we're looking for are not, maybe this is for us. Coming in confident, feeling as if we've kind of lost the foundation of this story because it keeps getting turned around on us because we are the hangman, because we're upside down. But maybe the point is to look at this from a different perspective, because that's what the hangman really represents, is like looking at a problem or looking at life from a different perspective. The act of looking at the world upside down can sometimes be, it's an uncomfortable position to be in. You're hanging upside down, it's not super comfortable, but you can gain new insight about what you're in when you change your perspective and you look at it upside down.
Huh.
What?
What was the name of Jim Perry's podcast episode? The episode.
Oh, I was about to L.O.A.D.
Why does it call it that? I don't know. I never really understood that. As above, so below.
I think that as above, so below is an occult reference.
Yeah, but it's all, it was about goblins.
But I think that maybe from his perspective, he was talking about as above as in like extraterrestrials and so below as in like goblins.
Like it's an old hermetic.
Yeah, we got you.
Guys.
What you doing?
But it's also, this,
What am I
Beef
doing?
jerky?
where you are.
Beef jerky.
Up here in the higher
I
self.
got a Slim
You're
Jim.
not sharing.
It's going to mirror what happens to you down here.
And you're not sharing.
Here. So what you put out
Just,
into the universe is the thing that's going to happen to you here.
There's a delivery service called GoPuff close by, and I ordered some stuff that I needed.
After
And then I was like, well, I'll get some beef sticks. I ordered 2 and I got 3. So I was really happy.
The Spirit Box session in person. I was really, really excited to try it again in this place that the entire expedition had been leading up to. So Connor, I think, with a slight bit of trepidation, decided to give it a shot. I think we all agreed that it wasn't going to be as long as the session that we had done before. It was a strange environment. It was very hard to get comfortable in it. So Connor didn't really know how it was going to work. Eyes. Blue eyes. Whose eyes? So who are you? Do you have a name? Power? What do you call yourself? Modern. Modern? How long are the cycles? How? How many years did it take to return to this place? What was that? It feels like things here move. What's that? A cycle. Are you always here Or are you more active at different times? I don't know. You know where you are. How'd you get here?
Like in Connor's spirit box session, we got these glimpses of what felt like different spirits coming through. Almost like they were going by on a train. But there was a little girl spirit that Dana and I both picked up on, and like we were instantly comforted and fine, and we were like, come on out, like come talk to us. Like we were instantly like, there's a little girl here, and we're gonna speak to her.
Warn them? Maybe? Well,
Yeah, so where the eye or the
I don't know. After you said girl.
Yeah.
Is there a girl in here? Do you want to come closer?
And then that was gone. And then there's this like kind of mischievous, snarky spirit that could have been a little boy or could have been like a young adult male.
Ivan?
Ivan, is that you?
I'd love to meet you. What do you want? We want to know why we're here. Here. Right here. We want to know if there's a reason we're here that we don't understand.
What's that?
Tunnels. There are a lot of bats in the tunnels. Oh shit. We're here. Loose. I felt like no shit, there's bats in the tunnels. Right. It's like, what a stupid question to ask.
Oh, no shit.
And then that was gone. And then for a second it was like Eddie from the Stanley, one of our spirits in the Stanley. He was there, dropped a couple lines, and then he was gone.
Oh, commercial.
Ed, are you still hanging with us? What up? What up, Eddie? Eddie.
It was like they were either passing through or like they were little snippets of a dream.
There's something ancient here, something old. Something that's been here for way longer than everything else. Were you here before this structure was built?
Probably.
Were you around longer than this tunnel?
Green?
When it was green?
Really weird, sometimes nonsensical stuff started to come through. Maybe possibly even some familiar spirits started to come through. It seemed random. Everything that was coming through seemed really strange and really random.
Leave. Hi. Torpedo.
About 30 seconds ago.
Balls.
I just started
Ball.
getting just weird.
Bat.
Like, freaked out and what we needed. Which doesn't make sense. Yeah.
We,
Feel like, I don't know. It's really weird. So about 10 minutes before the session was over, if that, 5 minutes maybe, we all looked at each other, Greg, Dana, me, and there's like such a sense of like peace and completion that there wasn't anything that came through that was like, oh, that's why we were here. Nothing. It was gibberish. It was random. Barely a couple of things that might have related. But there was a sense that we all noticed that it was done. That we got what we needed.
we aligned ourselves with it. And I think even unconsciously, that's why we were all like, oh, shit, that's what it was. You know what I mean? We knew it in that moment, even on an unconscious level, that what we were looking for wasn't just goblins climbing out of a mine. What we were looking for was bigger than that. It was again, the whole, not just a sliver of it.
Thank you for speaking with us. You can go back to sleep now if you want. You feel like you can talk to people through the awake. It's like if you try to talk to someone while they're sleeping, and that's what it feels like. You like this. They text and you go to sleep. I mean, seriously, you're going to go to sleep. Indeed. Are the people in this town asleep? Are they dreaming?
Celebrate. Active. Alright. Thank you if anybody's talking to you, so I'm turning my mic off now.
Yeah, it's hard.
But I don't know what I was waiting for. It's like I wanted to have like the house is this, or you know,
Or
it's
where
like,
it is.
oh my gosh, like you're called to this location. There's so many mysteries. Like, please, so bad wanting to hear something come out of some house. But I felt, I don't know if it's a sense of closure, but a sense of the words that came across from celebrate, active. And it was weird. To me, it was like a reminder personally to be like, it's fun to go out and see cool, weird things. And it's like, celebrate that. Have fun with that. So I took the headphones off, and I felt comfortable, honestly. Which is weird, because I remember hearing the word celebrate activity, which is kind of a nice little send-off, honestly. I thought it was sort of a message like, hey, it's cool that you go out and have fun with your friends, get involved in this kind of stuff. Whoever was sending that message, I thought was saying, okay, cool.
One of the things Connor said in the Spirit Box session was celebrate activity, which I think is really interesting. And I mean, we could analyze that one for days, but we had activity. And at the end, we felt almost celebratory because it wasn't a goblin. We didn't find any goblins, but we found so much more. We found connections to things that we never would have anticipated before. We found the alien cave-based task force. You know, we found all of these things that were great out of this investigation and made this investigation make sense. And in a way, we were celebrating. And in a way, being in Hellier, chasing goblins, chasing Bigfoot, chasing Native American curses, chasing ghosts, chasing UFOs, that was a celebration of activity. I mean, it really was. It was everything. So it came full circle at that point. I think that's part of the reason we all felt so happy afterwards.
Yeah, it does. Like an archetype. One of the rows. Why would you do that? I don't think that's it. Fuck. That thing was so close, I heard it go. But it didn't sound like a bat. You guys heard that too, right? Yeah, you heard that? That was something wrong. That was not a bat. That was like a. If there was like a road above us or something, that was vibrations or something. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't something you're hearing. That was really loud. Like that was like right here. What it had that vibration sound of like wheels when a car drives something like a bridge.
I mean, I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready. It's an hour since you said hour. Literally, like on the dot. Yeah, like 12. Yeah. I'm fine with that. Feels great. That's good. Which is actually really interesting because it was actually when I looked at it, it was 12:10, and that weird noise happened at 12:09. Like literally, you said hour, it's 3 bucks. Great, well done, so he said, I remember this time. Well, 09.
Oh, I said hour.
Hour. What if that was just like a signifier or something happened?
A big mechanism at Amazon is collecting the voice of your customer. Earn trust of others.
I'm Jonathan. I am the warehouse supervisor at Utopia. We've built a very strong relationship with Amazon Freight. They've just made it all so easy for us. There's always an ear willing to listen to you.
We really are this genuine customer obsessed.
We really are.
No, we're not.
Pointing at that. They're calling
Well,
it, drawing your attention to that. They're making a landmark of it. I don't know what the fuck that
That's
sound
just
was to have my
No.
attention drawn to it. But again, it's those weird, subtle, what the hell was that?
Fucking right.
Something happened. Like we all heard that. Did you hear that? I thought it was flapping right here. Something happened. And you're like, okay, we're done. You just have that feeling, we're done. Whatever we're supposed to do here, we're done. That's the feeling that came in the cave. And it almost is like whatever was rustling around in there just rolled over and went back to sleep. That's kind of the feeling. We'd spent a week in that area stirring things up and maybe waking something up that wasn't supposed to be woken up yet. We were getting all of these strange signs and all these really odd things were happening to us. We were running in circles, getting really upset and frustrated and then excited and then scared. And then I just we got down there, sang it a lullaby, put it back to sleep. But it was peaceful. Yeah. It felt finished. That chapter, anyway. Oh my gosh,
Mr.
answer.
Mr. John Tenney. Hi, sir. This is Connor. Sitting here with the crew.
Hi.
Hey Tenny, we need your warped old brain, Gramps.
Get ready.
So there's been a lot of really weird stuff that's happened on this trip.
We wanted to get some quote-unquote closure, some sort of summary from our good friend, John. Describe your relationship with that man.
John Tenney. I'm gonna get emotional if I talk about it now because it's late and I'm thinking about it. You're gonna have to give me a second to sit. How do I say it? Give me a second. I need to let my eyes dry a little bit.
Let me take a
It's
sip of
funny,
my
I'm
blue ribbon.
turning into a big old softie because the older I get, the more
the more I think about what we do and how it's really strange. It's really strange, but it's really affecting. And the more that Dan and I become like full-time weirdos and full-time paranormal investigators, the more it's like there's I don't know, all the best people I know have come from this. I know a lot of people. I've met a lot of people and had a lot of jobs. Jack of all trades, master of none kind of deal. But, all the best people I know, all the most introspective and affecting and thoughtful people I know I've met through this. When you meet people who are looking at this phenomenon in a really human and introspective and fascinating way, you learn a lot more about the world. And I think that's part of the reason I get emotional when I talk about this type of stuff and people who are doing really great stuff.
Leonardo da Vinci seems to have encrypted the Great Pyramid of Giza into the Vitruvian Man.
I met John Tenney the way I met a lot of my best friends, which is we made fun of each other on the internet. Dana and I, he left some weird comment, some shitty comment on something we were talking about. And Dana's first words to him were actually, John Tenney eats his own farts for breakfast. And then we kind of sat there like, who the fuck is this guy? We've never heard of you. Your opinion doesn't matter to us, man. Like that kind of thing. And we just kind of back and forth made fun of each other for a while until we met him. We met him for the first time like a month after we moved to Cincinnati. He was at a local horror conference. And we just hit it off immediately.
Oh, wow.
He's one of the smartest people I know, especially when it comes to strange phenomena. And he looks at it in a really wonderful way that a lot of investigators don't. A lot of investigators look at paranormal phenomena in a very finite, limiting way. Their lens is not very wide. So anything that's a little bit scary is a demon, and anything that leaves a footprint is a Bigfoot, that kind of thing. But Tenney has a really cool way of looking at stuff in a very positive way of experiencing the phenomena and investigating the phenomena. So he's always been kind of inspiring in that way for us. When we hit some weird brick wall, or when we have a really hard, tough investigation, Tenney's one of the first people we want to ask for an opinion on it. So we called Tenney up at 3 a.m. to ask him about goblins. And he was awake and willing to take the call. So for 45 minutes or so, we took turns spilling this insane story that anyone else would have been like, whoa, hold up, premonition is about tin cans, get out of here, kid, that kind of thing. And he understood it. And not just that, but experienced it before and was able to provide a lot of context to this type of stuff.
When you guys talk about like John Keel, like there's a whole group of people that are wrapped up with Keel. There's Keel, there's Albert K. Bender, there's Gray Barker, Morris Jessup. There's like a whole group of researchers who kind of fell into this. They were investigating one thing and they ended up kind of falling down into this rabbit hole, and some of them made it out, more
yesterday. It's like having H4X
Interesting.
basically invincible. You'll be unstoppable.
Yeah.
So he just dropped a giant knowledge bomb on them. Today was Christmas, and he just said, "Open all the presents." What were the presents?
Everything.
Then he said, "All those presents, they're all a misdirection." But you got to open them.
Yeah, you also got to say, screw you guys, you're not going home.
Is done for our own sake. We're the ones who decide that there's closure to it, and that isn't what is happening in reality. So talking to Tenny was a good endpoint.
Well, shit.
You didn't do anything wrong. You guys got what you were supposed to be there for. It just wasn't what you expected, and you're not going to understand it in any kind of linear fashion. You might, years down the road, you might look at it and go, that's what we were doing there. There's no closure. But there's solace in the fact that other people have been there, been to that edge, and are there to pull you away from it before it gets concerning. A couple of days after we get back from Hilliard, we're all just lounging around Greg and Dana's
It's interesting,
apartment, and we're sort of decompressing from everything that we've experienced over the last couple of weeks, and we are sitting there, and naturally I gravitate right towards Greg's bookshelf of paranormal books, and I see a book by John Keel that I had never read before. So I take it off the shelf, and it's a collection of essays and articles and interviews that John Keel is in, taking part of, and written. And it was compiled by this guy named Andrew Coleman. I'm flipping through the book, and one of the very first pages that I turn to is an article from Anomaly Magazine, 1972, and it's about different sounds that people will commonly hear during times of high strangeness. It's hitting on the different factors of a high strangeness event and the kinds of sounds that people might hear during these events. And there's an indicator of two sounds that John Keel says that he noticed over and over again in all of his interviews with witnesses to events of high strangeness and UFO phenomena and monster sightings. The second type of hallucination, audio, consists of hearing sounds and voices with no discernible external cause. The two types of audio hallucinations most frequently reported are the sounds of a baby crying and the sounds of an unseen car door slamming. The crying baby phenomenon is common not only among UFO witnesses, but also among thousands of ghost and monster witnesses as well.
It's so bizarre. How is that possible? Like the two main things that we in just one sentence, he's just got it both of them in there. I didn't hear a car door slam, but I definitely heard the
which is like an updating of the phenomenon.
Yeah, it's like what now would be the equivalent of a car door slam. No.
The first sound is the sound of a baby crying, which is exactly what the residents of Hellier were telling us they experienced.
I get it. Dark. They used to say that they was, you could hear them not now, that's okay, somewhere, but you always hear like a baby crying or something.
The second sound is the sound of a car door slamming, which isn't something that we experience directly, but this article is from 1972, and we experienced the modern day equivalent of that, which is the sound of an automatic car door locking and beeping.
That can help us.
We heard this at a time when we were in a cave tunnel underground in the middle of nowhere in the forest of Kentucky, and we suddenly hear a car door beeping. We have no idea where it's originating from, but we all experienced it.
Your testimony at police stations was frequently reported as
Shared paranormal influx.
No.
Huh.
Should it scare you? Should you be intrigued? Do you run from it? Do you go towards the light?
That's
Tell me.
that's really spooky.
There's a little bit of all of it, I think.
Well, I've never been one to run from the paranormal.
Well, you don't run per se away from it, at least. Maybe towards it.
And hearing that those
Depending
were
on
the
how ballsy
specific
you
two
feel.
sounds that John Keel highlights in times of high strangeness, and knowing that we directly or indirectly experienced both of those specifically, just blew me away. There's something to it in the connections there. And the research is ongoing. When I go back to Colorado in early October, I, of course, ordered the book, Flying Saucer to the Center of Your Mind. And the editor talks about how when he met John Keel in Point Pleasant, how they began to experience all these bizarre synchronicities. I first met Keel in September 2003 at the unveiling of the Mothman statue in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Our visit with Keel sparked a flood of paranormal phenomena that lasted several years up until Keel's death. The synchronicities were so stunning that I began to write primarily about that subject and how it might play into the UFO and Mothman phenomena. My basic discovery was that synchronicity can be used as a research tool, and that the psychic powers associated with Mothman and natural UFOs can be harnessed for good, for creative purposes, or for healing. Through Keel's advice and inspiration, I was able to expound enough on the matter that an entire new field of research came into being: synchro-mysticism.
Interesting.
So, there's a precedent for this phenomenon. It's not just the 60s and 70s. It continues into today. Even 15 years ago, when this editor met John Keel and was ready to compile his works from back in the day, they started experiencing a lot of the same things that we did in our case.
Interesting.
To say the least.
Something about this case just refuses to let us go. The more this whole expedition was the experience, the direct experience, and everything after the expedition has led to bring the documentary together as we can synthesize what happened to us. Been doing more of the research end, more of the validation end, more of the discovery end, and once again, I'm flipping through the Mothman prophecies just the other day, here in November, in Colorado again, looking for pull quotes, and
commercial.
Apparently.
there's this sentence
Well,
that
with
just
that,
jumps out
I'm
at
going
me.
to have to sign off, y'all.
When the ancients
All right.
sighted giant shambling
We will talk to you
Y'all have a
later.
good night.
Yep.
their eyes blazing like fierce coals, they assumed that they were confronting demons. Early investigators eventually concluded that such demons did not really exist, even though they often left footprints behind and caused physical damage. They coined the word chimera to describe them. While chimeras can come in all shapes and sizes, ranging from 20-foot giants to animated tin cans, only a few inches in height. The most fascinating type is one who has appeared in almost every country on Earth. In other ages, he was regarded as the devil incarnate. He dressed in black and rode a black horse. Later, he arrived in black horse-drawn carriages, even in hearses. Today, he steps out of flying saucers in remote farm fields.
Interesting.
I mean, the tin can that we saw wasn't animated. It wasn't moving around. I don't know what experience Q was referencing. I'm sure if you read enough of his works, there's probably some obscure story about a tin can that somebody saw that was floating around the building. But he specifically mentions a tin can in relationship to basically Injured Cold. Injured Cold is a chimera. That's essentially what he's narrowing it down. These things from these spacecrafts, these ultra-terrestrials, these non-people playing games with us. Injured Cold is one of those, and he specifically says that it's too crazy to say. Like, the implications. Like, he says that a chimera can take the form of a tin can. I'm not saying, I don't want to say. What's happening? I don't want to say that we kicked Injured Cold on the way to the cave. But it's weird. We sound fucking crazy. I'm not gonna say that tin can that we experienced was a chimera, that was Injured Cold, that we actually know. But to have that level of direct textual link between basically Injured Cold and this tin can experience that we had was written down 50 years ago. And that came back to our lives.
Oh, goodness.
And there we go. I believe we're reaching the end of this episode. Pretty intense.
That's a good question. If David ever watches this, I would encourage him to reach out, because whatever is there, he might have had something to do with. I understand. I think we all understand what happened with David. Our story in Hellier is very similar to David's story, where you're a foreign person, you're an outsider that comes to town, and strange phenomena starts to drive you out. So if David's watching, I understand what happened. I get it. I know the feeling. But there's more work to be done. There's a bigger thing happening. And I would want him to get in touch. But maybe it's Terry Rist who I want to get in touch even more. Because it sounds like he's the person who instigated the whole thing. Whether that is a disinformation agent, whether you're a man in black. Obviously, we were sent there for a reason. And any help figuring out that reason even further, I don't know. Maybe we have a place we're supposed to go next. Something happened in Hellier. Something happened around Hellier and in the greater Mammoth Cave system. People are just giving it different names because there's no context to it. Maybe this is going to provide context. Maybe this will send more people out. Maybe somebody else has got an email from Terry Rist. Maybe there's another Hellier in Oregon or Florida.
and somebody else has been called to investigate it and further put those pieces together. All I know after this is it's bigger than God was. It's bigger than us.
Bigger than Jesus.
The Alien Cave-based task force has lots of room. There's lots of people who may be called to be part of it. So I think that's why, one of the reasons why I'm doing this. So maybe that is the point, you know? Maybe that was the reason that this all happened. Maybe that's what we achieved in that cave was this is here now. This is here. This is going to be shown to a whole lot of people. And they're going to think differently now. They're going to approach the phenomenon differently now. They're going to have context. So, who knows who the next cave exploration team is going to be. But maybe it won't be goblins next time. Maybe it'll be gnomes, elves. Who knows? Something just strange enough to get someone who watched this out to investigate it, to stumble onto something greater, stranger thing. And the phenomenon came to you. And now it's spreading out. I think what Tenny said about some strange virus is really interesting. It's who it needs to. It continues to survive. And it continues to be investigated. It continues to be taken seriously. It's going to be something that's going to keep happening.
Booyah. So that was the end of episode 5.
Not bad, not bad. This is getting crazy.
So there's way more to go. There's more. But it's like you see where they're doing, right? They finished out that investigation and it feels like, well, they left us hanging, right? Nothing there.
Right.
So I don't know. Should we how do we feel? I feel like taking a break. So that's what I want to do. I want to take a break. But what do you think? You got time
All right,
for
let's do it.
You got it in you for one more episode after we take a break there, boss?
Let's do it, brother man.
All right. Well, yeah,
let's take a break together and let's watch it.
Right.
I got you.
All right. So we will be back. Let me go ahead and end the stream for the moment, and then we will